What does it mean to be alone, and yet to be among others? We talk about getting away, but really, where do we go? When we escape, do we carry the baggage from our old home with us? When we find somebody else that looks like us, does it mean that we're no longer an individual? When we get away to somewhere new, is it us who changes? Or do we change the environment around us? Thomas Wolfe reminds us that you can never go home, but what you can do is visit the places that you remember. Almost everybody has a lake story, a trip to the water with somebody where you did something that was silly or special. And today, when you flash back to that moment, it's a rare case of when we smile, even without thinking. There is something special to being away, new smells, new people, a break from something. We are hungry for nostalgia, to remember perhaps the first time we slept in an unfamiliar bed, the saltwater taffy, or the opportunities that may or may not have been there. These are ingrained in us as we travel through our daily lives, but the question is, can we return to where we thought we once were, even though we've never been there? It had been over 30 years since I'd been to Lake Winnipesaukee. As a child, I'd spent days on the summer swimming in its clear waters, building sandcastles on the beach, riding in an old wooden boat, and being the first to spot Mount Washington. When I was a child, you see things through a child's eye, and now as an adult, with the burdens that often we have weighing on us, I wanted to see if I could capture that again. I had not gone to exorcise old ghosts, to recreate a kiss under the boardwalk, or to leave some ashes. I came back to see if that lake that I knew now as a child was anything close to the lake that I saw now. Jumping off a dock, sunburned skin between the sheets, staying up late, how much have we forgot in the moment are we able to remember afterwards? It was with this backdrop that I loaded up the boat and decided to head back to Lake Winnipesaukee. Known as the Lakes region and covering such a vast area, it is hard to get a handle on. The lake is not so much the focus, but just a part of the region. Being the largest lake in New Hampshire, almost 20 miles long, with over 264 islands spread throughout, I was seeking to see what I had missed, and what I found is a magical experience. With so many different towns and nooks and crannies, Winnipesaukee, the lake, is not so much the focus but more of a participant of the whole area. While the lake is significantly developed, it feels spread out, and the size of it alone presents a geographic puddle stamped into a region filled with other grandeur. With a lake of such size, there really is no heart. Each town has a special individuality, catering to the boaters, the tourists, the regulars, or the adventurers. Theaters, the arts, and museums abound in local communities, and although often vacation destinations appear like transients, the Lakes region has significant roots. There are locals and transplants, passerbys, and often heard is the refrain, "I'm going to move here." While its heavily developed shoreline may be off-putting to some who seek the solace of an empty lake, What I found was a community with vibrant towns and welcoming people. Stopping by boat to visit each community, we found people making their own memories. And perhaps 30 years on, one little boy who spent the day eating ice cream on the shore with his family will too make a video about how much he appreciates the time that he spent as a youth on its shore. Marcel Proust reminds us that remembrance of things past is not necessarily the remembrance of things as they were, but in reality the best way to remember things is the way that we want to remember them. I like to think that there's a drop of water or a grain of sand that I touched as a child that is below me today as I pass by and as an adult. Perhaps my own reach for something so silly, but maybe believable. As we get older and our vision fades, we tend to have to squint to see the things that are before us. Glasses help us to see the things that are important. Sometimes the lenses that we see through are not in a frame, but in our heart.